We can actually say that Easter 1916 is probably one of the most famous dates in modern Irish history because it is the time that the insurrection of 1916 led ultimately to the independence of Ireland and to modern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland as we know it today.
Okay, I mean, as part and parcel of the people that make up the new Irish communities, myself, and especially one who reside within the county as well, I just want to ask you, Minister, what precisely do you think is the significance of this centenary, altogether, to migrants who may not know the full Irish history?
Well, I think one of the things that's most significant in terms of Africa is that when I worked as a lecturer in the University of Dar es Salaam in the 1980s, the leader then of Tanzania, the president of Tanzania was Julius Nyerere, who was very interested in Irish history because for almost all of the founders of independence in different African countries and the ending of colonialism, there were two particular examples that people looked at for learning and for what happened. One was Ireland and the other was India. So for instance, in President Nyerere's study, maybe 3 walls were devoted to the history, obviously, of Africa and of African independence, but 1 wall was devoted to the history of Ireland and to biographies and books about major figures in 1916, such as James Connolly, who was one of the founders of the Irish Labour Party, of which I'm now the leader.
Okay.
And also of people like Michael Collins, who was killed in the Civil War, and also people like Patrick Pearse, because Ireland was the first country to move away from the British colonial empire. Although Britain is now a very good friend to Ireland and we're a very good friend to Britain. And that example of Ireland becoming independent and after the Second World War India becoming independent has always been a great inspiration to the people who in the 1950s and 60s won independence for various African countries, leaving either the British Empire, the French Empire or other empires, and becoming independent countries.
Yes. Interesting. Okay, I mean, despite the political and many other achievements so far.
And of course, one of the men who lost their lives in the Rising was Major John McBride, who was married to a very famous woman in Irish history called Maud Gonne, who was the inspiration of William Butler Yeats, the poet who wrote so much. And of course, he was involved in South Africa. So there are a lot of links between Ireland and indeed Africa in relation to shared histories around the period of 1916.
Okay, this next question will border around the United Islands. So I just want to know, despite some of these, it's a lot of achievements, and I mean, it's been 100 years.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is, despite all these achievements, I mean, Ireland as a whole, because to see, I mean, as in one element, to describe Ireland as in one element, that is yet to happen.
Well, certainly we had after 1916 the War of Independence, then we had a bloody but short-lived civil war.
Okay.
So the new state was born with a lot of differences, and in particular one of the things that would have hurt people in Ireland and Southern Ireland the most was the idea that there was partition in the northern 6 counties. A lot of people in Ireland would like to see both parts of Ireland reunited peacefully. As a Republican, as the Labour Party, we would aim to do that by agreement and by cooperation.
So is this something that you're looking forward to in the future?
Yes, I think people would look forward, but it has to be done by harmony, by cooperation, and by people working on both sides of the border with each other. We're opposed to violence. We would not see the violence of the northern troubles in the 1970s, 80s and 90s as really following in the footsteps of 1916, because we have democratic means at our hands, and we should use those.
Okay, just one last question. As we know, the structure of the new Irish society now constitutes many ethnic nationalities and communities, and people from those communities are now a huge part of the Irish society as well. So in terms of this centenary celebration of the 1960s, I mean, most of us only came here to learn so much about the history of Ireland. So, but I mean, in terms of this celebration itself, how much have the government done to go out and reach out to these people to get involved as much as they can?
Well, what we've done is we've arranged a series of county by county commemorations, and it's really for the people in each county, including people who have come to live in Ireland from a whole set of different countries right around the world, to join in the celebrations, maybe to get to know about links about Ireland and perhaps their own country or continent that they mightn't have been aware of before, and also to make sure that it's an inclusive Ireland.
We need Joan to go somewhere else.
Okay, thank you, Minister.
I'm going to wear it into the council chamber next. I will. What do you think? Well, he gave me the 2 for 25, so we're filling on this. So.
Councillor, please, what do you have to say about today? Please don't run away.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Show your t-shirt.
Yeah,